Hello everyone, welcome back to Wanderlust Ventures. In today's video, we dive deep into one of the most talked about topics in Southeast Asia, which countries are no longer welcome in Singapore in 2025. Now, before we begin, let's make one thing crystal clear. Singapore is one of the world's most open and welcoming nations. With a population made up of Chinese, Malays, Indians, and countless expatriates, the country thrives on diversity. It is often seen as a safe haven for global talent, a hub for tourism, and a powerhouse for business. But at the same time, Singapore has very strict immigration laws and visa policies. In recent years, especially after the pandemic, Singapore has tightened its borders and imposed stricter entry requirements on certain countries. This doesn't mean there are official bans, but it does mean that some nationalities face more restrictions, higher rejection rates, and stronger scrutiny than others. The reasons vary. Some are due to overstays and illegal work, others due to diplomatic tensions, health issues, or security risks. So today, we'll explore the 10 countries that, in 2025, are often seen as less welcome in Singapore. Remember, this is not about hatred or discrimination. It's about policy, security, and practicality. Singapore has to carefully manage its small size, limited resources, and the flow of foreign workers and tourists. With that in mind, let's get started with the list. And don't forget, if you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe to Wanderlust Ventures for more eye-opening global stories like this. Number 1. Bangladesh. Bangladesh has one of the largest migrant worker populations in Singapore. Thousands of Bangladeshi workers help build skyscrapers, roads, and infrastructure. But unfortunately, there's also a high number of overstays and illegal workers. Many Bangladeshi migrants face rejection when applying for work permits, especially in 2025, as Singapore reduces its reliance on foreign labor in construction. This has led to a perception that people from Bangladesh face stricter immigration barriers and are less welcome compared to a decade ago. Number 2. India. India and Singapore share strong cultural and business ties. But in 2025, Indian nationals face tougher visa rules. Why? Because of the controversy around work visas under CECA, Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement. Many Singaporeans felt that too many Indian professionals were flooding the job market. As a result, Singapore tightened the rules, making it harder for Indians to obtain permanent residency or employment passes. While students and tourists are still welcome, there's definitely more scrutiny at the border. Number 3. China. Chinese tourists used to dominate Singapore's tourism industry. But after the pandemic, Singapore introduced tighter health checks and entry requirements for travelers from China. In 2025, with rising geopolitical tensions and concerns about overstays, China remains on the list of countries facing extra restrictions. Singapore values Chinese investment, but at the same time, it is very cautious. For many travelers from China, getting a long-term stay approval is much harder than before. Number 4. Nigeria. Nigeria faces one of the highest visa rejection rates in Singapore. The reasons are often linked to fraud cases, overstays, and scams associated with Nigerian nationals. While many Nigerians come for genuine business or studies, the few who misuse visas have created a negative reputation. As a result, immigration authorities in Singapore are very strict when reviewing applications from Nigeria. In 2025, Nigerians face one of the toughest paths to enter or stay in Singapore. Number 5. Pakistan. Pakistan also finds itself in a difficult position. Many Pakistani nationals come to Singapore for work, especially in construction and services. But just like with Bangladesh, there have been issues of overstays and illegal labor. Additionally, security concerns have sometimes been raised about Pakistani travelers. This combination has led to much stricter checks at immigration counters. By 2025, Pakistanis face a more difficult visa process compared to many other nationalities. Number 6. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's economic crisis over the past few years has pushed many of its citizens to look abroad for work. Singapore is a popular choice, but authorities worry about overstays, illegal jobs, and rejected asylum requests. This has led to rising rejection rates for Sri Lankan visa applications. In 2025, Singapore has taken a tougher stance, making Sri Lanka one of the countries less welcome in terms of immigration opportunities. Number 7. Myanmar. Myanmar is Singapore's neighbor, but political instability and conflict since the military coup have affected its citizens' mobility. Singapore has imposed stricter entry rules to ensure that refugees or political activists don't misuse tourist or work visas. This doesn't mean all Myanmar citizens are banned, but it does mean they face far more scrutiny than before. In 2025, Myanmar remains on the list of countries struggling with entry restrictions. Number 8. Philippines. This one may surprise many. Filipinos are one of the largest migrant worker groups in Singapore, especially in domestic work and nursing. But in 2025, Singapore has tightened domestic worker permits due to rising cases of illegal recruitment and contract disputes. While Filipinos are still welcome as tourists, the work visa side has become tougher. The government is now reducing dependency on foreign maids, which directly affects Filipinos seeking employment in Singapore. Number 9. Indonesia. Indonesia is Singapore's closest neighbor. Every day, thousands cross between Batam, Bintan, and Singapore. But this also creates problems: illegal entry, overstays, and informal work. In 2025, Singapore has introduced tougher rules to prevent misuse of short-term visas by Indonesians. Tourists are still welcome, but authorities are watching closely for overstayers and illegal workers. Number 10. Iran. Iran has long faced diplomatic tensions with many countries, and Singapore is no exception. Due to concerns about security risks, sanctions, and misuse of visas, Iranians often face difficulty entering Singapore. In 2025, the process remains very strict. While students and genuine tourists can still apply, the chances of rejection are higher compared to most other nationalities. So, there you have it, the 10 countries no longer truly welcome in Singapore in 2025. Remember, this doesn't mean Singapore hates these nations. Instead, it's about policy, practicality, and protection. Singapore is a small island nation with limited space and resources, and it must be careful about who enters, stays, and works there. If your country made the list, it doesn't mean you can't visit Singapore at all, it just means you may face more restrictions, tougher visa processes, and higher rejection risks. At the end of the day, Singapore remains one of the most open and multicultural countries in the world. But its immigration system is built on strict rules, and in 2025, these 10 countries are definitely feeling the pressure the most. Thank you for watching Wanderlust Ventures. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening global insights.